Welcome to the Oklahoma Venture Forum podcast for May 2022. This is a special edition for our awards event, end of the session event on May 18th. We're going to have a 3-person panel discussing innovation, including my guest today, Jennifer Hankins from the Tulsa Innovation Lab. Good to see you this morning, Jennifer. Let's talk about this panel that you're on with Cody Dupler of Summit Utilities from Lawton and Josh Merrill from Echo Investment Capital. You specifically work with the Tulsa Innovation Lab. Obviously, this is something you're focused on a regular basis, but we're going to discuss innovation in Oklahoma from perspective of from Tulsa, from Lawton, and from the middle of the state. So let's have a quick, brief introduction of you and what you're looking forward to discussing on the 3-person panel at our special awards event on May 18th. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning, Kyle. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about the awards event itself and the actual 3-person panel that you're going to be on. So you're going to be on a panel with Cody Dupler from Summit Utilities in Lawton and Josh Merrill from Echo Investment Capital. So we have Lawton, we have the middle of the state, we have Tulsa involved there. We have a few different people with a few different backgrounds and perspectives having a conversation about innovation in Oklahoma specifically. So let's talk about you and some of the things that you bring to that conversation.
Yeah, so I'm head of partnerships at Tulsa Innovation Labs. We are a tech-led economic development organization focused exclusively on the Tulsa region here. We're actually a subsidiary LLC of the George Kaiser Family Foundation, which for those of you who may know the foundation, they are laser focused on breaking intergenerational poverty in Tulsa. And so where we come in is really thinking about how do we invest in our economy in a way that points us and puts us on a stronger path toward an innovation-based economy so that Tulsa families and Tulsans have better opportunities going forward.
So Jennifer, you're very focused on preparing for the economy of the future, right? Innovation, not relying on that's how we've always done it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we in Tulsa, similar to OKC, we have a large legacy industry base in aviation and oil and gas. Our first order of business, we're only 2.5 years old as an organization, so we're a relatively new entity. We commissioned an industry analysis to figure out where can Tulsa actually play in the innovation economy. So what we're doing is we're laser focused on investments in energy tech, virtual health, advanced aerial mobility, thinking about the future of aerospace, and then really honing in on our skills, workforce and development, talent training in cyber. And we think of that a big C, cyber and analytics, cyber security, and of course, AI and things of that nature as well. So really honing in on workforce in those areas.
And you've been in workforce development and economic impact for the last few years, not just this job, but your job previously there in Tulsa with the Chamber of Commerce, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. At the Tulsa Regional Chamber, I was our Vice President of Entrepreneurship and Small Business. So my role there encompassed managing a business incubator for high growth startups, as well as really helping to continually connect the assets here in the region. Prior to that, I was at the Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce, where I did business retention and expansion, similarly focused on how do we help businesses grow? How do we make sure that they're as competitive and innovative as possible going forward as well?
A lot of innovative ideas are coming out of Tulsa, like remote work and things of that nature. You're really embracing innovation, I think, as a city and the region as a whole.
Yeah, we're really trying to, there's this strong sense of nowism here in Tulsa that we're really proud of and really going after hard. We recognize that Tulsa and frankly, the state as a whole, we're a little bit behind the 8 ball. So it's really exciting, when you hear about what Josh and others in OKC and across the state are doing also. But we're really seizing the moment and investing big in a way that, frankly, we haven't done in our history. So really seizing that moment right this time.
And so you'll be bringing your insights from what you've been doing in Tulsa over the last few years and even your background with the Oklahoma City Chamber to this 3-person panel with two other people who have completely different backgrounds. So it should be an interesting conversation from different aspects and different parts of the state about what is being done in the name of innovation in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and what I'm most excited about is figuring out how we all partner together, right? Like our state is only as strong and as good as all of us can actually work together, make sure that we're all playing to our strengths instead of always trying to, if Tulsa, let's not worry about what Oklahoma City is doing. Let's figure out how we can partner and support, and vice versa. How can OKC better and support what we're doing on our side of the turnpike as well? So that's a big theme we're seeing over and over, is like, how do we need the state to be strong too, not just our region.
And you've been involved with OVF for quite a while as well.
Yes, I have. I participated when I was in Oklahoma City and at my time at the Tulsa Chamber as well. It's a great organization.
So you are familiar with our year-end event, and actually we've taken two different events and put them together. We used to alternate between Venture of the Year, Most Promising New Venture, and the Economic Impact Awards, and we've put them all together and partnered up with some other economic impact groups as well to make this year's event very, very different and interesting. We have the governor is going to be there, so it's always good to get the blessing of the leader of the state. We'll have the three-person panel that you'll be participating in, but we'll have the big awards, the Venture of the Year and the Most Promising New Venture. And I don't know if you've seen the finalists for these awards, but I'm on the committee, the selection committee, and they're very, very impressive this year.
What do they do? I mean, tell me a little bit more about them. Are you allowed to share, spill the secrets?
Well, we do. Some of the top two for both have been publicly announced, so no insider trading here. But I can tell you that there is a lot of innovation that's going to be definitely our theme for the whole month, I think, in software development. A lot, and it's not something that most people think of from Oklahoma, but we are definitely making huge strides and huge impact in development, in programming, and other AI, machine learning, et cetera. So we have several examples of that in both categories this year.
Awesome. I can't wait to meet everybody and see what's going on.
So it should be a great afternoon of events. We'll have several awards, some new ones this year as well. And we'll have our three-person panel that you'll be participating in. Like I said, the governor's going to be there as well. And we're looking for great, interesting conversations about innovation specifically, and of course, economic impact and the value of businesses, both small businesses and large businesses, and public-private partnerships as well, which is another thing that you have a lot of background in.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to everybody, and hopefully, what we're doing in Tulsa can be a great case study for what we can maybe try to do across the state, and excited to learn from everybody else as well. It's going to be a great event.
I think that makes a perfect sense. I love what you guys are doing up there in Tulsa. You've got co-working spaces, incubators. The remote work program has been very interesting to watch happen, and some very interesting companies have come out of that, including some of our past most promising ventures have come out of the Tulsa system as well. So good to hear perspectives from across the state for our annual event that's going to end this session for 2021, 2022.
I'm very excited to be a part of it. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Looking forward to seeing you and everyone else. I hope you all get a chance to attend the event. If not, we will have a podcast follow-up of that as well. I'm also going to be interviewing via the podcast the other two members of this panel. Will have their take on what innovation means in Oklahoma. So hopefully we'll see you all May 18th. If not, keep checking back on the website, the podcast, subscribe, hit the like button, and make sure that you follow along so that you never miss an episode of the Oklahoma Venture Forum podcast. Thank you.